we are up over $3,000 betting on the NFL this season. So, to continue my hot streak, I'm going to hit you guys with some of my Week 10 picks for this NFL season. Now, as you guys might have noticed, Matt is not with me today, and that's because he's sick. Sick of losing.
It's a dog shit.
No, I'm just kidding. He's under the weather. But Matt did send me his picks for this week, so I'll be sure to go over those with you guys after my picks. But here in this video, I'm going to give you guys 4 of my favorite picks for Week 10 of the NFL season. Starting off with the New York Jets. I'm going to be taking the Jets -1 in this game against the Las Vegas Raiders. I am going to be putting $250 out of my $1,000 on it. Now, listen, do I feel good about betting on Zach Wilson? Fuck no. I don't feel good. But this Jets defense is really, really good, and they're going up against Aiden O'Connell, who has very minimal NFL experience so far this year, and truthfully, I think that the Jets defense is just going to swallow him. Now, I made a point last week to talk about the Raiders, as I think that I like them because interim coaches typically win their first games. Well, now that there is a little bit of film about how Antonio Pierce runs his team, what plays he likes, all of that type of stuff, I think the Jets are going to see that, and they're going to be able to adapt. And I think they will beat the Raiders by -1. -1 is basically a pick'em. And while I don't love either quarterback, I love the Jets defense a lot more than I like the Raiders defense. So I'll be taking the Jets -1. I'm going to be putting $250 on it. Next, let's talk about the Houston Texans. +6.5 is the line for this game. I really, really like that. I'm going to take that. Again, I'm putting another $250 on that one. Listen, here's the thing with the Texans, right? CJ Stroud has been awesome this year, like really awesome. And they have far exceeded expectations. They've covered a lot in really good games. The other thing, though, is that the Bengals are kind of riding high right now. And I say that because they had a tough game against the Bills, big game. They have a big game against the Ravens next week, big game, right? In the middle is the Texans, who I think are being undervalued by a lot of people. Now, you might also say, well, the Bengals will win. I don't disagree with you. I do think the Bengals will win, but I think this is a sneaky spot for the Texans to cover. I think CJ Stroud maybe puts up a lot of big numbers again this week. And the other thing is, the Bengals are kind of hurt right now. It was announced this morning that T. Higgins and Sam Hubbard were going to be out against the Texans, and I don't know, I think +6.5 is a little bit too high of a line. I'm going to take the Texans to cover in this one. For my next pick, you guys know me. I got to take an underdog every single week, and the underdog I'm picking this week is the Jaguars. You guys know about my secret love affair with Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've loved the Jaguars all year. I loved them in the offseason. Going into this game against the 49ers, it's a home game, by the way, for the Jaguars. They are dogs. They're dogs by a decent amount. And honestly, I'm going to take Jags money line. +142 odds. You know, I think that's how you make your money, is you can pick out some good underdogs every single week. Last week, I picked the Commanders to win against the Patriots. I think they were 3.5-point underdogs. Got them on the money line. Won me a lot of money. So I really do think that the Jaguars are this week's version of underdog money line pick for me. Listen, I don't got to tell you anymore. Trevor Lawrence is awesome. Travis Etienne is awesome. Calvin Ridley is pretty good, I guess. I don't know. I'm a little lower on him than I was. But if this offense can get going, this defense has been making a lot of turnovers this year. They are really capable of getting extra possessions for that offense. And I think Doug Peterson, we saw it last year in the second half. The team was much better in the second half of the year. And I think if you're Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars, I think you want that trend to continue. Now, if you want to be considered one of the big boys, you got to beat San Francisco. You really have to, right? Those are one of the top dog teams in the NFL. You have to beat San Francisco. So I think this will be a really good test for how good the Jaguars are and how far they can go. But you're giving me a home game. You're giving me a Jaguars team that's hot, a 49ers team that is not hot at all. I understand they've had some injuries, and I understand that, still Steve Wilkes has struggled as defensive coordinator so far. But Jaguars money line to me seems like the bet of the week. I'm not going to make it the lock of the week because the Niners are a good football team, so I don't have the most confidence in it. But I will say Jags money line. If you're going to pick a dog this week, I would go with Jacksonville. By the way, I'm going to be putting $200 on that one. For my final pick of the day, I got to go with my Seahawks. Now, I'm breaking my trend of not betting on the Seahawks. Not because I feel like I could win or whatever, just because I just haven't done it all year and I want something to change. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not betting on the Seahawks necessarily, but I'm going to bet on the Seahawks game. Give me the over 44.5 on DraftKings Sportsbook for total points in this game. Listen, let's talk about the Seahawks first. This is going to be a bounce back game for the Seahawks, okay? They want to bounce back from that embarrassing performance against the Ravens. I mean, they got shellacked. That game should have been like 56 to -5. Like, that was embarrassing. And good coaches typically bounce back well in games after they've been blown out, right? Pete Carroll's a good coach. There's no debate about that. And on the other side of that coin, the Commanders' defense is not very good. They haven't been good all year, and they traded away their 2 top pass rushers last week. So you add to the fact that the Seahawks are hungry to get back to get it going. The Commanders' defense is bad. They traded away their pass rushers, and this is a home game for Seattle. I think we're going to see a big game for Seattle's offense. Now, on the other side of that, the Seahawks' defense has been not as good the last couple of weeks, especially against the Ravens, but, against Mulligan, right? But Sam Howell has been putting up points this year. He's been slinging the rock. And if what I said about the Seahawks offense is true, is where they bounce back and they're able to put up points, the Commanders are going to be throwing the ball. And truthfully, Sam Howell's put up good numbers. The receivers are good. I could see them holding their own in this game as well. I'm not going to take the spread in this game, but I will take the over on points for 44.5. So getting into some of Matt's picks, he agrees with me on 2 of the picks, Jets -1 and Texans +6.5. But he has 2 other picks that I want to talk about real quick. He took Ravens -6.5 against the Cleveland Browns, and he took the Bills -7 against the Denver Broncos. So he's taking the Ravens and the Bills by basically a touchdown each. And I feel more confident in the Bills spread because I think the Bills are a team, they kind of got embarrassed last week in primetime. Their offense wasn't too good. They're going up against a subpar Denver Broncos team. This is a spot where if you're the Bills, you really have to quiet the haters about saying that you're fake, you're fraudulent, everything like that. And you want to regain, the first place spot in the AFC East. I think this is a big bounce back spot for the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen is going to go beast mode. He's going to be off the walls. And again, the Broncos, I just don't think they have the firepower to keep up. So -7 for the Bills, I like. Now, a line I don't love as much is the Ravens -6.5. Mostly because the Browns defense is just so scary. That's number one, right? Their defense is amazing. I made the point last week about the Seahawks not being able to game plan for the Ravens because of Lamar Jackson, and they just don't see him. They're not used to him. Like, he just moves differently than any guys. Well, the Browns see him all the time. They see him basically more than any other team. So they have an idea how to defend Lamar, and they have an idea how to play defense against Lamar, and I think their defense has been amazing all year long. So I'm going to take, I'd actually take the opposite. I would take the Browns +6.5. I just think, a divisional game, it's close. The Browns are in the playoff race. They're going to be playing hard. Deshaun Watson's back, and while Deshaun Watson isn't great, he's definitely an upgrade over P.J. Walker. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here, but I would take the Browns on that one, to be honest with you. But I don't hate betting on the Ravens. They seem like the best team in the NFL right now. Lamar Jackson is an MVP caliber player. And truthfully, 7's kind of high for a division line. And John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson in their careers as favorites aren't great value betting-wise. But I can't fault Matt for doing this. I mean, they looked like the best team on planet Earth last week against my Seahawks, so I don't totally hate it. All right, then for the parlay, the real money makers, auto lock 4-leg parlay for you guys coming in right here. All right, first of all, Bills money line. Just talked about it. I think the spread would probably hit as well, but I definitely think the Bills are going to win and bounce back. Bills money line. We're going to take the Falcons -2. Now, I know Kyler Murray's back, but I think this Cardinals team is not very good. And again, the Falcons are a team, you got to think of motivation. The Falcons are a team that I think want to get themselves back into position to be the leaders in the South. Hopefully they actually feed Bijan Robinson. But the Cardinals just are not a good team, and I don't know if Kyler Murray is 100%, to be honest, right? So that's number 2. Then we're going to take the Packers and the Steelers under 39 for the total. I know that's a low point total, but the Steelers' offense doesn't even step on the field until the fourth quarter, and Jordan Love has really not looked good at all this year. The Steelers' defense is really, really good, and the Packers have some high-impact players like Rashawn Gary and Alexander at corner. They are capable. This could be a really ugly defensive slugfest type game for the Packers and the Steelers. There it is, right? And then the last one, I will be adding the Browns +6.5 on that parlay there. I told you why just a few minutes ago. When you add that up and you give me my $50 free parlay with the rules of the game, it wins me $446 for a 4-pick parlay. I say lock it in. I say submit that one if you want to make some money. But that is the betting episode for you guys today. I hope everybody enjoyed. I hope you guys make some money. As always, the link to our spreadsheet is in the comments down below, so make sure to go check it out. And I hope you guys have a good-ass weekend of NFL football watching. Peace out.